Hi everyone, it's Jamie from Realistic Fitness again. Today we're going to work on something called a hip bridge. It's extremely important when you're doing any lowering movements, any lower body movements, to wake up and activate the nervous system that stabilizes the pelvis and the lumbar area of the spine. With a hip bridge, you're on the floor, going to be laying down, and I'm going to bring Dave in a moment here to show you that. But what we're doing is we're activating the glute muscles. We're stretching out what's called the hip flexor muscles, the muscles in the front. Because if the glutes aren't activating and stabilizing in a lowering movement, you really put your back at risk, your knees at risk. It's a really important, seems like very simple, but it's a really important movement to start your leg workouts with. So I'm gonna bring Dave, come on over, Dave. Hello, Dave. Thanks for joining us. So go ahead and get down on the floor, Dave. And first things first, you wanna bring those feet as close to your backside as you can as long as there's no tension on the knee. So I'm gonna have Dave, does that feel comfortable there? And then you want to make sure those knees stay in line with the feet. Now his feet are about a fist width apart right now. That's about perfect. If you find that it's a little uncomfortable and the hips are back, then you can go ahead and widen that stance a little bit and bring your feet out just a little bit. So Dave's obviously done this before, so I'm going to kind of direct some points for you folks. So all you're really doing with a hip bridge is exactly that. You're just going to raise the hips up. So go ahead and do that for me, Dave. Now you want to make sure that the pressure is on the heels. And the first thing you're going to notice when you bring those hips up is many times the knees will try and pull apart. What that tells me is the hip flexors are trying to get back into the movement, and we want to take them out of the movement. So we're going to bring those knees together a little bit, Dave, right there. Good. And activate the glute muscles. You're really trying to squeeze the glutes during this movement. So you're going to hold this movement if you can for 30 seconds to a minute. It really depends. If you're holding this movement, go ahead and come down, Dave, and the back of your legs start to take over, the hamstrings drop. That means that the glutes have stopped. The neuromuscular ability for your mind to activate that muscle group has already broken. So it's really kind of a progression that you want to work through. If the back of your legs, like I said, the hamstrings start to take over this movement, go ahead and bring your hips back down again. Take a short break, a 1 minute or so break, and then bring it up again. So go ahead and come up again, Dave. I'm going to mark a few points here. So you're going to feel some stretching along here. That's part of what this is. This is a dynamic stretch as well as an exercise. So if you haven't watched the bonus dynamic stretching video, then certainly do that. Go ahead and draw your core in, Dave. So you're going to be tightening your core, activating your glutes, and keep those knees together and tightening all that. Glutes, core, and when the hamstrings start to take over, make sure you drop. Go ahead and come down. I typically, when I do this with a client, I will actually have a stopwatch or a timer and time them depending on the client. A lot of times in the very beginning, you'll find that those hamstrings do try and cheat in and take over. And just time yourself and write down the time that you did that exercise. And each time, work your way up to a minute, and always start your exercises with this. This is a great one if you're going to be going for a walk. You're going to do some of the active kinetic thermogenesis that we talked about in another module as well. And we'll show you some progressions on this on Realistic Fitness Online as well. So take a look at those. And thanks for joining us. And thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.